Hello, all of you wonderful beings out there, and welcome to the stream. I am Razim, and we're back after a little break here to do some more StarCraft II. We're currently going through the Heart of the Swarm co-op campaign with Seda, BDA, and GibGab. Go check them out on Twitch for me, please. Give them a follow and all that stuff. We are on number 24, Planetfall. Korhal shall fall. But first, the defensive Dominion network must be shut down. Millions of zerg will be dropping onto the surface. The zerg that get through will tear through the Dominion.
Just millions? Just
Apparently.
millions.
No, just millions.
Damn.
To be fair, they breed like no tomorrow, so they are very good at multiplying.
But to be fair, saying millions will be dropping is like... That was like a little compared to the Zerg's normal numbers. But you have like millions of pods dropping in at high speed, slamming into the ground. That's a lot.
Yeah, they do kind of make rabbits look lazy, don't they?
Drones go bird. Larva.
I'm going to Korhal. It's time.
Why are you telling us this, Kerrigan?
There will be ruin, destruction. Millions can die amid the chaos. Valerian, your people will need a leader.
You're right, Kerrigan. They will. If I'm to be that leader, I'll ask only one thing of you. Bring your swarm down outside the city. That will give us time to evacuate.
Korhal is going to be the most difficult battle of my life, and you're asking me to make it harder.
I am.
I was wrong about you, Valerian. You're not like your father. I'll give you your chance. Make the most of it.
Oh, we have our final towns unlocked.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I'm going with summon or spawn Leviathan, but what do you two have?
So I have Zeta Worm, spawns a Nidus Worm that unloads 45 Zerglings. Summon lasts for 30 seconds. Creep Teleport. Teleports, Nectools teleports herself and all nearby Zerg units in a huge radius to any location on the map with Creep. Will not teleport drones or overlords. And Hysteria forces enemy units in the target area to attack each other for 15 seconds. Heroic units are immune.
Hi.
Oh. That Zeta Worm actually sounds really nice.
Yeah, it's a Zeta worm for the Zeta.
Zeta's
For
a
the Zeta
worm.
Apparently.
No, I just have one.
Worm TF.
Oh no.
Worm
I
on a
have-
string TF.
I have two that
Abby,
are like...
would you still love Seda if he were a worm?
I mean, you know his answer.
Oh, I do.
Or do you? Dun dun dun.
But Warcomen warning, yeah, no, I have an ability apparently that will summon a Nidus Worm that unloads a bunch of Zerglings.
Hog. I want a Zergling TF.
I want a Zergling TF tool.
Everyone's going Zergling.
I mean, The Zerglings can cloak.
Mm-hmm. Zoom,
So-
hi Zergling to you.
Sure. So what are your new ones, Gib Gab?
Right. Spawns 30 infested colonists and 15 infested marines at the target location, and they last for 220 seconds. Send a cluster of missiles towards the target location, dealing 220 damage to enemy units and structures in the vicinity. And this is the one that I'm going for. Infest all enemy structures in the target area for 30 seconds, disabling them and dealing 480 damage over time. Infested structures spawn broodlings every second.
Jesus!
I want to point at a base and delete it.
I cupped myself, but almost broke the swear jar.
Would you have to pay yourself for this right, Jar? What do you do?
No, I just cry.
Okay, why do I just imagine just a very sad Zim knocking on like Rex's door, just being like, "Need the
Rex.
swear jar."
Rex, I swore.
Circling, 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 circling.
I can say it, by the way. One thing that I thought would be funny. You know how we all get like a thing that allows us to buff units in a target area?
Mm-hmm.
What if we all cast it at the same time on a bunch of Zerglings, and we just send them to attack the enemy base?
Oh no. Also, I'm just realizing something with the wording here. They say unloads 45 Zerglings, but 16 Swarmling strain Zerglings. That's going to be 45 invisible Zerglings coming out of a Nidus worm.
Oh no.
Just imagine being in a bunker and suddenly a Nidus worm opens up right outside. It's like, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, we're gonna die! Wait, nothing's happening.
And then everyone starts dying. God, I love these invisible Zerglings.
The Shadow Lane. You won't see it until it's too late.
A bio-launcher has broken through the orbital defense network.
Zerg! Blast it!
Dominion ground forces have secured this area. Our bio-launchers cannot survive without support.
I'm going to handle this personally. Send in all the drop pods. They should be centered around this region. Alert me the moment one breaks through. I'll make sure the launcher survives.
The first bio-launcher and its escort are entering Korhal's atmosphere.
Show me where it will land.
It will arrive here, my queen.
Our allies are in combat.
Incoming transmission.
You've made a grave mistake. Setting foot on my world, Kerrigan. I will deliver you and your swarm back to whatever hell you crawled out of.
Are in combat.
Sure you will. In other news, Ren is cute.
Allies are in combat.
This is true.
made a mistake. I produced
Oh,
too many
there's
drones by
Abby.
accident.
Abby cute. Look at that super cute Zerg. I like to share a spawning pool with him.
Oh my.
Oh whoa.
Our allies are in combat.
You know this map has an expansion?
I'm a puppy. I'm a puppy.
You what? With what?
You know this map has an expansion?
It,
Excellent.
oh, you mean like another set of,
Yeah, like a
It will
base.
be vulnerable
Extra
for
base.
a short period.
I accidentally made 21 extra zergling drones.
Did you say you accidentally made?
We require more minerals.
21 extra drones.
The Dominion's Draken defense
Also, these are
network
yours, then.
is destroying most of our bio launchers in orbit.
Ah,
Which means we can't afford to lose the ones that get through. Our forces are under attack.
the.
Our forces are under attack.
Hmm.
Our allies are in combat. This world is mine. Make your peace.
Hey, it's at 69%.
Our allies are in combat.
Rip in peace for
What
that
is
pool.
it this time? Our allies are in combat. Boldly. The swarm conquers all. Our allies are in combat.
I think my allies are in combat.
You sure about that?
Okay, making an ultra cavern.
Oh, what are you making?
Conquest continues.
The
What are you
ultra-
making?
We have already made one money. That ultra cavern.
I was about to make an ultraless cavern.
I got it.
Alright.
Do we still need to defend the bio launchers after they're deployed?
I'm not entirely sure.
What is it this time?
I'm not
Even if
entirely
these-
sure.
Allies are in combat.
My allies are in combat.
Our allies are in
We, I have returned.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
The cutie has returned.
We,
The swarm has met the enemy. Speak. Our allies are in combat.
I still feel very
The
awkward
next
without my
bio launcher
PC.
is breaking through Korhal's defenses.
Pat.
We, we.
Oh, the pack coming this way. So I'll be going towards you, safe.
Allies' base is threatened. Our allies are in combat. Our allies' base is threatened.
On it.
We haven't pushed over there.
Our allies are in combat.
The Dominion destroyed a bio launcher. I will alert you when its replacement arrives.
The gates lead to the Terran capital. Destroy them, and we can enter Augustgrad.
Good thinking. I'll break the gates open if I have time.
Oh my god. That's a lot of swarmlings. Oh yes.
Speak.
Sons
Okay.
of Korhal, eliminate the Queen of Blades.
Let's send the Leviathan along.
Yeah, sure. Why not? After all?
Oh, he's already dead. Thank you for that tip, Merle.
Your queen listens.
So where was this other... Oh, the next landing location. Okay, we gotta get over there.
Yep.
What is it this time?
So I've been pushing
The
over here.
swarm conquers
Slowly but
all.
surely.
Our conquest.
A bio-launcher is about to arrive on Korhal's surface.
Your queen listens. We are without limit.
They have widow mines. Oh, sick.
It is time. Speak. The swarm.
My queen, the next bio-launcher is landing in hostile territory.
Really?
The minion base must be destroyed to secure the landing area.
Of course it must. But yeah, thank you so much for that support, Merle. I really appreciate it.
Destroy Terran base after.
Oh yeah, I forgot I switched to the double drone thing. That explains a lot.
Oh, okay.
Let's try this, shall we? Oh! Yes.
What did you do?
I just summoned a nice worm that just gave me
Oh.
60 cloaked zerglings.
Nice.
Alright, I'm gonna go claim that other forward base there.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the. I'm gonna take this one up here.
Our allies are in combat. Our queen has destroyed a gate. Move into the city.
Your queenless.
Our allies are in combat.
The next bio-launcher is making landfall. Prepare for its defense.
Oh crap.
Our allies are in combat. Our allies are in combat. Our forces are under attack.
Night Wolves, you have your orders. Remove the Zerg threat.
Are under attack. Our forces are under attack.
Night
Make your
Wolves.
peace.
The next bio-launcher will arrive in enemy territory.
So,
Oh, yeah, there's
just
definitely
like all the others. Okay.
In combat.
Oh, she just keeps going. They're going to arrive in enemy territory. Okay, is that supposed to be new from the last?
Our forces are under attack. Our allies are in combat.
I am the swarm.
So, there's the next landing site.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Our conquest.
I'm gonna start doing a bit of a pincer attack from the top because that strike team is really annoying.
Speak.
Our allies are in combat. Our allies are in combat.
No time like the present. Boldly. I am the swarm.
Our allies are in combat.
Speak. I am the swarm.
Our allies are in combat. Our allies' base is threatened.
We adapt. No time.
Our allies are in combat.
Can I take the third middle base?
My queen.
Sure.
Next bio-launcher is arriving.
I'm also wondering for the gas. If you need minerals, let me know. I have an excess of minerals.
Except we do need to get that, bio.
I don't know. I'm not on my way. I'm trying to. It just cleared out the base in front of it, so.
The present.
Yep, I'm working towards it.
I cast a blinding cloud of the last.
Oh crap.
What?
They're attacking one of the bio launchers.
You defend it? I'll head over and try to defend it. I have air units. We might be able to make it in time. Let's transfuse the bio launcher. Okay, I got it. Whew.
Alright, good to know. We need to keep up the defenses. I'll move some more bile type, or some more, what do you call these things over there?
House?
Swarm house, yes.
Our allies are in combat. Our allies are in combat. Our allies are in combat.
Mengsk will suffer.
Our allies are in combat. Our allies are in combat. Our allies are in combat. Our allies are in combat.
The final bio launcher is about to arrive. Prepare for its defense.
Another gate has fallen. Flood their pitiful city. The final gate has fallen. Move quickly.
Zagara, take your brood into the city while I secure the bio launchers.
Yes, my queen. Our allies are in combat. Our allies are in combat.
Retribution. I am the swarm.
Allies are in combat.
Okay.
Another more stupid little base is taken care of. Ooh. Got him.
Allies are in combat.
It will strat worked out way better than I thought.
In combat.
I was half expecting it to suck, but it's actually really good.
Korhal's defense cannons have been destroyed. The swarm is gathering on the surface.
Destroy the Dominion's bases. Drive them into the city.
Allies are in combat.
Oh. Way ahead of you guys.
Yep, you
I
two
was
are doing good work. Yep.
I was doing this for fun.
I'll just be here defending the very important task of defending these things. Yes.
I was just being proactive. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I don't want to have any counterattacks from these guys,
Deploy
so.
their forces. Zagara, move your brood further into the city.
Oui.
Take up positions around
Bree,
the palace.
bree.
Yes, my queen.
Please.
It's time to dethrone an emperor.
What's next? Should be the Ultralisk evolution.
Well, it'd be whatever 25 is.
Yep. Ultralisk evolution.
Let's go.
It's funny because, like, out of all these units, like, I see which ones I like playing, and it's like, I really like playing with of Zergling and Baneling. It's really satisfying. I really like Mutalisks too. They're really fun to control. Wait, oh no, I'm just playing Mutaling Bane.
So that was 24 Planetfall. So next up,
Ultralisk Evolution.
Ultralisk Evolution indeed. Oh, what are they gonna do?
Oh, I'm excited. I am excited. Actually, I was using the Swarm hosts. I actually really like the third option.
I figured you'd like prefer it. It just seemed like your kind of vibe with the Swarm House because they're always really you push a lot. You build up your stuff and then you go burr.
You
Yeah, no, I'm selecting in a sec. There we go. I was trying to open a bottle of water because it was weird, and then I realized I was opening it the wrong way. Lings chilling in the spawning pool, 5 feet apart because they're totally gay. The spawning pool is actually 5 feet apart, so they're basically snowing up next to each other.
Dominion Xeno Research Facility, Metis. Zerg inside. Can capture. Can use.
Mengsk certainly wants to keep us out, but we can use his own specimens against him.
Yeah, why would they have a top secret Zerg research laboratory on the freaking capital planet?
With this one. Hear me, Ultralisk. Break free. Fight to the door. Kill anything in your path.
Security Squad 4, what is going on in there?
Limbs, it's yours. All yours.
Also, I love it how... Go on.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I guess...
Toxic compound released. Great potential.
I guess I go and rescue you two.
And now we're a bunch of Ultralisks.
Poisonous explosion. Damages enemies in target area.
I didn't sign up for this.
You signed up for the skunk TF.
I want this facility under control now.
See, this is what happens when we let Warney help design our Zerg.
Contain those specimens, or the Emperor will have your head.
I think the old place will have your head.
I died.
Why Warney? What did Warney do?
Oh, Warney likes skunk TF.
Okay. Now it makes sense.
And likes making the TF airborne, so... A big Zerg with a bunch of gas?
subsequent battleground.
Satan Abbey Ultralist holding scythe claws, yes.
Outskirts of August Grad, military housing, supply center. Facility must be destroyed. Experimental nuclear weapons produced within.
The bridge is guarded by Dominion forces. Move forward. Secure the passage.
We gotta do some vandalism first. Down with the Emperor.
Now!
Sir, it's still experimental. We don't know what it'll do.
Fire the damn warhead now!
Ooh, nice instant tan.
Analyzing damage. Radioactive compound infecting Ultralisk.
Make use of it.
Integrating with atrophied evolutionary path. Ultralisk strain Torask. Resuscitates dead tissue. Revives creature.
Press on. We continue the assault.
What are these ugly things?
Who are you calling ugly?
Oh, I very much remember the Tarask from the first game.
I want another warhead inbound on those monsters. Put them down and keep them down.
Cocoon forms upon death. Will revive momentarily.
Oh, hold on, have to do a little bit of vandalism.
Oh, that ain't right!
Look at that Dominion hoverboard.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. It's no longer under warranty.
I will turn this city into a radiated ruin if I have to. Another warhead.
You're only making us stronger, buddy.
Totally not just stalling the revive cooldown.
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
Delivering now.
My car, man! I just paid that job!
I didn't realize I was in the voice line.
You can use it. It's awesome. Honestly, this strain alone would be worth it just for the psychic damage it could cost.
Oh, I know, right?
Nom 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 the science. Drink the science goo.
No longer possible. Dominion
We are back.
laboratory discovered on Korhal. Experimenting on Ultralisks.
They feel your power, and they wish to return to the swarm.
Command Ultralisks. Destroy security console. Free captive Zerg.
So what is this?
Watch out!
Nothing so far. I chased on the scientist.
Unclear.
Storm
What?
strain?
Oh.
Oh.
Stuns all nearby mechanical ground units and structures for 3 seconds. These look cool.
I call him.
Have them. You've earned it.
Incoming Zerg! Get the wounded to the evac.
I like
Oh
the
my
Zappy.
god. Yeah, no, it.
This is if you have like 3 or 4 ultras at the front, this is insane.
Thankfully, it is only on mechanical units.
Mm-hmm. If it was biological, it would
Oh, if it was all
broken.
units, it would just be broken.
Yep.
I want to see the models for these ones.
Does this stun air units? Or just non-mechanical ground units? Okay.
Not just mechanical ground units. But just imagine these with burrow charge.
Oh god.
It's like, oh, siege tank? Oh, you're stunned now. It just wants to give you a hug.
Zerglings, fight for your queen.
Delivering reinforcements now.
I gotta say, these custom maps as well are gorgeous.
Yes.
I could not tell that they were not made by Blizzard.
Augmentation. Await decision.
Storm Strain.
Yep. Heavy Assault Beast has an area effect cleave, stuns enemy mechanical units. What are you feeling, Gib Gab?
Hmm. I'll pick the Tarask. I don't know. I never liked the log chest one, so I'll take Tarask if it's up to me.
I'm back.
Go for it. Hey, look, I've had enough of my first choice, so.
Honestly, the Tarask is probably the strongest option there.
Oh yeah, no, it has a lot of really good sustain.
But I like the Storm.
The Tarask just depends. It helps you save on minerals, but technically it doesn't make your ultra stronger. The Storm and Poison technically do. So like if your struggle is running out of minerals and gas in these missions, then yeah, definitely the Tarask. But if not, then I mean it doesn't really make much of a difference.
Alright. On to number 26, Death from Above.
I'm just imagining now, just like in the science labs, like, what if you gave the Ultralisk a taser?
Oh my god, now I'm just imagining little tasers strapped to their claws.
Exactly! Exactly!
Or once, Dart was staring in horror at Zim as he made the suggestion to put tasers on the Ultralisk. The mad scientist has been outmatted.
I mean, look, Dart doesn't care. Dart's immune to electricity.
Yeah, the Ghost Electric Doggo is the one that gets the that gets the zappies.
Oddly fitting. Oh, then it works out because I get the Phoenix Ultralisk. Oh, yeah, you burrow charge of that. Oh no, that's terrifying.
Hmm.
Let's see what your Side Destroyer can do, Mengsk. The swarm is going to be torn apart. We have to shut down this field now. Dahaka, this is the central hub of the Side Destroyer. We're going to bring it offline permanently. The Side Destroyer uses power links to extend its range. Disable them, and the field will shut down temporarily.
This field poses no threat to me. I will rip apart this power link myself.
Once the field is down, I'll command the swarm and destroy their defenses.
Then it is time to act.
Ooh.
What's up?
Okay, I have an ability called Aggressive Mutation, and enemy units within the target area do 80% less damage for 3 seconds. I can hit all those Marines.
Yeah, do it.
You guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's because it's only gonna be 3 seconds, so go.
All I got is an...
Well, that's for that whole area. Dang.
Creature.
I only have the mend.
A terran machine hides above. I will destroy it.
I want to get out of there, Seda.
I should give you a moment. Oh, we have AA.
Essence flows. I must go. I gather my pack. We will return and destroy the next power link.
The destroyer field is down. Prepare a hive cluster for combat.
The Side Destroyer is rerouting power. The field will reactivate shortly.
Keep me informed on its progress, Isha. For now, I'm going to crush the Dominion.
We require more minerals.
Okay.
Attack while the field is down.
With what army?
Well, we got a couple of units out there. But
not enough.
Yeah.
We require more minerals. Our allies are in combat.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh god. Hello, that's a lot of me. Ow. I died. A lot of Marines headed this way. That should be fine.
The swarm conquers all. I'm
Interesting.
We are without limit. What is it this time? No time like the present. I am the swarm. The swarm Mengsk will suffer.
I'm gonna roach swarm, a bailing nest, and spire.
Alright, I will build a Hydralisk Den and Infestation Pit.
Oh, I was about to make the infestation pit, but that works.
Make your peace, your queen listens.
I would have already been making one, except kind of got sidetracked by all that. So, who's making what again?
I got a Hydralisk and Infestation Pit on the way.
I made a spire, a bailing nest, and a roach warren. The only thing that's pending to make is the Ultra Cavern, which I can actually make if you want.
No, I'll at least get that.
Okay.
Energy spike detected. The destroyer field will reactivate soon.
Hey, Ran,
Yes, master.
what you doing?
I'm listening to you and just watching some YouTube on the side.
Ah.
Obviously, watch CGF Gaming, which you can subscribe to at the YouTube CGF Gaming channel, right?
Right.
Are you, Ran, actually watching stuff that I put out?
Actually, I do.
Oh. Well, cool. I'll fully admit I was not expecting that response.
Actually, at work, I do listen to the YouTube videos you put out because they're good. They're really good for me not to watch a video, but to hear the conversations a lot.
Dahaka, the field's return. I've pulled
And it
back
quite
the
helped me
swarm.
to get through the day. So, thank you, Master.
My pack is ready, eager to destroy the power link. This device reeks of fire and death.
Hey, oi! Why? Why?
Why are you?
Please. I don't know. It got stuck like back and forth thing.
I'm
Oh my
just
god.
enjoying your guys' company right now.
Oh my god.
It just got stuck back and forthing in there, okay? I can't control that. That's fine, I'll be back in like 30 seconds.
Go.
Okay.
More essence.
Yoink.
Oh, right. We gotta be fighting on two fronts here.
Yes.
Speak. We are without limit. The swarm conquers all. What are you doing? Destroy the power link.
Oh no, it's gonna destroy the creep tumors.
Yep.
Warning. The swarm cannot withstand the destroyer field. Our forces must pull back.
Essence flows. Our allies are in combat.
Oh God. Move. You might want to move your stuff back.
Yeah. Probably.
Oh God, the control
I
groups
almost
are
made
messing
it.
with me.
Yeah, same.
Almost made it to the very end.
Watchful. I follow. Our allies are in combat. Our allies' base is threatened. Our allies' base is threatened.
I'm working as fast as I can on this.
Okay.
I will return.
And like normally that's actually not so much of an issue because
We've brought down the field. Strike now.
like in single player, where Zim's bases is fine.
Make your peace.
Yeah, but oof.
The swarm conquers all.
Okay, let's start expanding again and fixing things up. Definitely going with swarm hosts.
What did I do for this mission? Yeah.
Mobile defense.
Your queen is under attack.
Okay, just gonna let this spawn, or this wave of units spawn, and I'm gonna be good to go to start pushing. Let's push.
My queen, the Psi destroyer field will reactivate momentarily.
What is it this time?
Already?
1 minute.
Get back to the hive cluster.
Alright, tactical retreat.
There's only one power link left. Destroy it.
Terrans, we will break your weapon again. We come.
That's nice to Hawken. Can I get back to my...
Now will
Wait, what's happening?
Oh, I needed to get back to bringing my troops away from all this.
Arriving now.
Make your peace.
Alright. About here should be safe for my swarm hosts. the... I'll move them up a little bit more.
The pathfinding on these, like, Dahaka units is so funky. Like, oh, move forward, jumps off the cliff. Excuse me. What I told you to do.
Apparently I left 2 queens out there. And they were just sitting there healing each other. In the field.
It's hilarious, though.
Wee!
Why the blee blee?
Dahaka.
Oh, your people are on me.
Well, yes.
Oh my god, bruh. Indeed. None of that, I just died again. I'm just stupid as wait.
Additional primal troops incoming.
You think you're gonna be up for it for tomorrow, Master?
Gonna be up for what?
Or tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yay! And what I mean by that, like, are you still feel like you're good enough for the 24-hour stream, or no?
Oh, I'm not gonna do a 24 now. I am gonna push for 20.
That's fair. That's very fair.
Task is complete. I will return.
The swarm has met the enemy.
The Psi destroyer field is permanently offline.
We don't rest until that hub is destroyed. All forces strike now. For the swarm!
I hope my swarm hosts kept you guys alive well enough.
They did. They were very, very welcome.
The power links are destroyed. Kill the Terrans. Take
Kerrigan, why did you just teleport up there?
It is time.
Ooh, we get a whole bunch of primal zerg.
Oh, nice.
What is it this time? What is it this time?
Wait, they're attacking our base?
We adapt, yes. The swarm are in combat. We are without limit.
Slow and steady wins the race.
As does cloaked zerglings. Well, that push got me down to 20 supply. Any opposition to me taking the base over here?
Go for it.
The swarm conquers all. No time like the present.
I guess I'll go assist you, Gib Gab.
What a shame in it.
Well, never mind. They apparently just wanted to say fuck you to that extractor in particular.
Yes. I just really didn't like it. You know?
No, no, I'm talking.
I really didn't like it. I don't like it. It's not really, you know. They're rude. They're stupid and they're stinky. Can't ever trust them. What I'm wondering is how do I get over here? I want to get up here.
Retribution will be mine.
And if only someone with links that could like leap could get up in that platform. Just clear that. Never mind, I have Vipers. I can just do that.
We adapt.
will defend humanity from you, Kerrigan.
The Vikings have no idea what to make of my flying locusts. They keep swapping between land and air form to attack them.
I am beyond death.
Our allies are in combat. Vespene guys are exhausted.
Cap, why do you just have some drones up here?
I just sent them over there to die, but I guess they didn't die.
Mineral field depleted.
Oh, wait, why am I like killing them? I can just consume the drones. I'm already full. No real use on it.
Our allies are in combat.
Look, Dart didn't mean to hurt Jetgimond. Just a little science.
Our allies are in combat. Our allies are in combat. Our allies are in combat. Our allies are in combat.
Boop.
We've done it. The Side Destroyer is finished. Zagara, report.
We are pushing the Dominion into the Imperial sector now.
Was that your last card, Mengsk? It wasn't good enough.
You're as much of a king as a birthday boy in a Burger King. Bruh. Okay, and that should be the last one.
Should be.
Yep. Then I go do something else for the rest of the night.
Like, get better. And rest. And hydrate.
Nah.
Self-care.
I mean, I do agree with them this time around. Since you are going to stream about 20 hours tomorrow.
Nah. I still got plenty of hours to go.
We go watch a movie. Easy.
What time is it? 9 o'clock. Feels longer. I think it's probably because I don't have my freaking PC. Wee.
Pat.
Like, I know it's bad, but I feel kind of lost on my PC. Oh.
I'm sure you
Oh,
can
no,
play,
I
like,
get it.
Trackmania. You can probably at least like play Trackmania on the Mac, right?
Today, Mengsk will die.
A hell of a loading screen tip.
On this MacBook, I'd rather not play any games.
Oh,
I don't
cutscene.
want-
Northeast sector is clear. We're behind in the eastern corridor.
It's time, Valerian.
The evacuation is still underway.
I can't afford to hold back any longer.
Promise me you'll avoid civilian centers.
I can't do that. Arcturus would see that pattern in my movements and use it against me.
Then millions will die.
All right. Just stay out of my way, and I'll do what I can.
Yeah, Jimmy, she really is different this time around.
Kerrigan, the die is cast. This is the last day your swarm darkens the sky of any planet. Korhal will endure, as will I.
Nice quote. I'll engrave it on your tombstone. Isha, Zagara, Stukov, Dahaka. All my brood mothers, all my queens, hear me.
We're here too.
The time for planning and deliberation is past. Now we tear them down, attack, and do not stop until they are all dead.
You never should have come back to Korhal. You are surrounded by the Dominion's elite.
And yet there still won't be enough to save you. How many bodies will you hide behind?
I've had enough of your tongue. Men, wipe them out.
Our forces are under attack. Our allies are in combat.
Make your peace.
Okay. Getting ramped up ASAP.
Yes.
Yep, gonna get that creep spread started.
I am really glad I've got you two here for that, because I am terrible at creep spread.
It's a practice.
We require more minerals.
Make sure to throw TF potions at your friends.
No, I'd recommend against that.
Especially at the Seda.
Look, you don't toss random TF. Blah. I can't English.
Yeah, it's just the TF potion going into effect already.
I was gonna say you don't toss random TF potions at me during December. It's like tempting fate, and I don't like it. Building Hydralisk Den. And Infestation Pit.
Build a mainland nest.
Cool, and I will build a Roach Warren for good measure. Ooh.
I suppose I'll get the Ultralisk Cavern.
I died at it.
So Whisper's
Ooh, Pinata Kangaroo. I can get behind that.
Strike down before she returns.
I did not realize he had a special voice line for if Kerrigan dies.
Your efforts are futile.
Oh no. Ido swinging the bat.
No. It can't be.
My queen, a Terran battle cruiser is inbound on your location.
There's something familiar about Jim?
Let's finish the job.
I didn't think you would come back.
We're both tied up in whatever happens here today. We do it together.
Jim, thank you.
Thank me later. It's time you put your war face on.
Wait, why are they covering me?
Because you're squeaky.
Aren't you supposed to be evacuating civilians?
Valerian and Horner got that handled. I had other things to do.
As he's just continuing to squeak.
Okay, we...
What was that, Seda?
Oh no, I was gonna say, like, we definitely have, we definitely have to put a little bit more effort to get out of this, little blockade.
I'm getting ready.
I got some solutions going in place.
I'm ready.
Actually,
one big push to smash out of it.
Yeah, once I have my next Nidus Worm, so let's use that to push.
my god, look, puppies. Puppy statue.
We're getting ready to attack the Dominion. Be ready shortly.
I'm gonna leave these impalers over here to defend him.
I'm gonna help with Jim's pushes.
I'm setting up some swarm hosts for...
Destroy the Hyperion.
Pretty big fleet coming this way. Could use some help taking these guys down.
Setting up some defenses for our bases.
Oh my goodness, the medevac is healing my queen.
Oh yeah.
That's wonderful. Nope, and she's dead.
Oh, okay, so that will still be useful. Cool. Just not against their units. Okay. Let me get some more swarm hosts to go defend the Hyperion.
We got it.
Well, I mean, we got it right now, but...
I was lacking a little bit pushing out the creep. Oh my goodness. Look over here.
Oh,
How did you
God,
manage
Gib
that?
Gab.
That's not me.
No?
That's my overlord.
Yeah. Just blaming me for this, SMH. Just because it's almost always my fault doesn't mean it's always my fault. I need a macro hedge. I don't know why I haven't made one.
Because I think we were all secretly hoping that we were going to get, like...
An expansion before the building a macro hatch.
Yep. Oh, there's a Raven going there.
Probably.
Oh no, there's a legit Raven going after our creep tumors.
That's very weird. I don't have mute attack yet.
My boys are prepping to attack the Dominion. Heading out in a bit.
Alpha Squadron, destroy that damnable ship!
Battle cruisers inbound. Might need your help on this one, Sarah.
God, those freaking cloaked zerglings are so terrifying every time I see them. Like, legit, if I were to face against a zerg player using them, I would just nope out.
Your defenses could use some work, Arcturus.
You'll pay for that. I will not let you destroy humanity's only chance at salvation.
What the hell is he on about now? About humanity's salvation, blah, blah, blah.
Well, you see, he's humanity's chance at salvation. Therefore, if you destroy him, you destroy humanity. That's all.
Okay, I might need some help.
I'd say we just turn the main beam to Zerg.
Oh, actually, no, we just barely cleaned it up.
Nice. I was gonna say, I don't really have much I can send. No.
Yeah, I've got a lot of my forces tied up in defenses for us as well as Raynor, so...
Yep, I'm just trying to make that push towards that first entrenched position.
Yes.
I just about have a force ready to go.
Sounds good.
Oh god.
I'm just rebuilding.
That's a lot of something that's sent over here.
Your queen listens. This world is mine. Boldly.
I'm just evacuating out of this expansion here for the moment.
I am the swarm. The swarm.
Our boys are prepping to attack the Dominion. Heading out in a bit.
Oh, we got an attack coming in.
Make your peace.
Our allies are in combat.
Our conquest continues. I am the swarm. This world is mine. We adapt.
Our allies are in combat.
No time.
Our allies are in combat.
Yeah, I kind of lost my entire force.
Some of these are kind of rough on Monica, but they're really hard. The attack waves for sure are terrifying.
Your path is clear.
And, yes, Rayshella, what else would I be doing? I'm playing Zerg. Their entire thing is throwing more bodies at problems.
Remember this, Raynor? It was nice of your criminal partner to leave it here for me.
Oh, crap. I'd recognize that signature anywhere. He sent out the oath.
Make your
Sarah,
peace.
keep going. You've
Good
got to
night.
finish this.
Without limit.
Go on without me.
Night.
Like hell I will. Hold on, Jim. I'm coming.
Bad hatchery should defeat the larva that I need.
Stukov, we could really use those investor marines against the Odin.
Those infested marines are getting decimated.
I've just lost my entire army.
Luckily, I still have the defenses I set up, but, yeah.
Where's the Odin?
The big red skull.
I return.
We did it. The Odin's down for the count.
How are you holding up?
Don't you worry about us. We're still in this.
Actually, Zim, could you raise some of your swarm posts a little bit? I'm kind of stuck. There we go. Thank you. Okay, now to push towards this guy, because that's going to be a very important base for us to capture. Because I am gas starved.
Oh, you need gas here.
My problem is supply cap.
That too. Oh, holy crap.
I have too much gas, but I don't have enough minerals. I'm burning through minerals way too hard.
Let me return the favor. I can't return as much, but...
you're good.
Too bad.
No time.
Those battle cruisers are terrifyingly rude. They're parked right where I couldn't get them. We're just gonna switch over into the middle of the production full time. But I need some extra base cleared. I need a third base. Until I forget my meals. That would be a good idea.
No time like the present.
Took out the battle cruisers. Let's see what the Leviathan can do about the siege tanks on the other side. Apparently quite a bit.
Perfect to count them.
It is time. No time like the present. No time like the present. The swarm conquerors are in combat. The way is clear to go. Move your troops into the sector.
Oh, holy moly.
Oh god. You can do it. I believe in you. We breathe.
Our boys are prepping to attack the Dominion. Heading out in a bit.
Alright, there we go. We got it. I'm gonna go take that forward base.
Our conquest continues. The swarm conquers all. This world is mine. Your queen.
Pushing pretty good.
Our conquest continues. Yes. This world is mine. Our allies are in combat.
And this is why we love creep spread.
Yeah, because of the defenses that I've set up, I'm not going to be super helpful with the push, but...
You're good, I can push.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to get to a point where I think we'll be good on the defense side.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they've been attacking for a bit. So yeah, I guess I can bring my defenses out.
Yeah, I think once we get the third entrenched position, we'll be in a pretty good position.
It is time. We adapt. Speak. Make your
another
peace.
base.
Because we're basically starting to get like the map awareness now, where we can kind of see where like any flank attacks are coming.
Basically.
Ready to attack the Dominion. Move it out soon.
And that's why I'm glad I have 3 hatcheries.
Yeah. I have 5 and it's barely making the cuts.
No, those do not vary, but I was utilizing more mobile defense option.
I mean, honestly, I would be totally understanding if you like just may replace some of those swarm hosts with like a sport crawler, spine crawler, just in case, and then just keep moving forward. Because yeah, I don't really need that many defenses back.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna get to the point. Maybe in the next 10-15 minutes where like the extractors will start mining out.
Say that it's happening again.
What's happening? Oh my lord. That is you this time.
I don't know how to get it out.
What's up?
Look over on the mini map where I'm pinging. The Overlord's having a moment. I'm Sata's Overlord doing that and I'm doing this. You can see it on the mini map. It's just doing that.
I am confused.
I am confused too.
I'm pinging, so look at the mini map. I'm pinging for the defense. Look at that Overlord.
Oh!
Oh!
What did you do this time?
I don't know. I think Korhal's just weird. Alright, next attack wave incoming. I'll head over for the entrenched position.
The avenue is clear of defenders. Dahaka, send your pack into the city.
Yes, we will feast upon their essence.
And there's something I can do definitely is breaking entrenched positions.
We are without limit. We adapt.
I'm more than over here.
We're getting ready to attack the Dominion. Be ready shortly.
Right. One big wave of balance I got ready, and then otherwise I'm gonna have to wait for gas. I'm all out of gas. Send in the bank.
Well, all of my troops are dead now.
No.
Time to do it all over again.
Mineral field depleted.
I return.
Mineral field depleted. Mineral field depleted.
I'm gonna spread this position.
Mineral field
Kind of.
depleted.
Okay, can we just talk about another thing that's weird's happening?
Hmm?
Look at what is happening there?
All those guardians. Oh, come on, Seda, help them out.
Okay, fine. I'm gonna send the stealth squad after them. There they go. Be free, be free. Go, go kill all the Terrans.
And now they're
Are these guardians just moths? Are they just moths attracted to the lamp right now?
Apparently they are.
They want the light.
There you go. Be free. Be
Again.
free.
Hey, now they're actually working on killing something.
And they die. My favorite thing in the minimap is just seeing the stream of green as I hold down E to make zergling. But I'm now realizing I'm actually kind of running out of minerals.
We are without limit.
So whatever's left has got to count.
Boldly,
Yeah, but we're making great progress.
we adapt. The swarm conquers all.
Oh, the Zappy Ultralists do count for air.
Oh.
Our conquest are in combat. We are without limit. The swarm
We're almost ready to attack the Dominion. Moving out soon.
The Dominion of Man is stronger than you. We will see your ashes spread to the wind.
You say as we have basically
For humanity.
Okay, bud.
take command. I have an appointment with the Emperor.
Long live the Queen.
And epic cutscene time.
I'm surprised you haven't tried to escape.
Escape? My dear, I'm afraid you've got it all wrong. Really? Did you think I'd keep an animal like you close to me without some kind of insurance policy? Clearly, you are my greatest failure. Now, at long last, you will die. Change of plans.
You can never suffer enough for all the lives you've ruined, Arcturus.
Made you into a monster, Kerrigan.
You made us all into monsters.
So, he's coming back, right?
And somehow, Arcturus returned.
Thankfully, no.
They cloned his essence and they put it into a new body. It kind of looked like Arcturus for a second there. Funky.
For everything.
My pleasure, darling. Always was.
No body does not necessarily equal still alive when your very atoms were atomized.
I now see my true enemy. He waits for me in the void, wielding powers I cannot imagine. I go to face him, having renounced everything. My humanity, my identity, the man I love. But I will not face this enemy alone. I am the swarm.
You know, I just have to make one joke. If I had a nickel for every time Blizzard ended their campaign cinematic with a view of Jim Raynor's back panning towards the sky, I have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also has that.
Like, why is Jim getting the final shot of the freaking Zerg campaign?
Because he's that badass.
He's the main character.
God, what I would give for another... I would give so much for more good RTS games like this.
When was it last good RTS game that's been released recently.
I mean, RTS game, there's always a few here and there that are usually little like golden gems. They come with their issues and all, but what game doesn't, right? The thing is more just the production level. Because, like, for example, if you go play Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, really good RTS. So many campaigns, so much content, so many expansions, constantly supported. Even today, like, Definitive Edition, wonderful. But you don't have quite the same amount of money being put into it. In terms of quality cinematics, overarching storytelling, yeah, it's a little different. I love Age of Empires 3's campaigns, but I mean, if you're talking cinematics, they can hold a candle.
I'm not talking about just cinematics, but I am talking about epic stories. The kinds of which that you get with, honestly, only Blizzard games come to mind. I know the Command & Conquer series has some pretty fun stories, but their stories are kind of, well, I'm pretty sure the rather infamous quote about escaping to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism being space comes from Command & Conquer.
Yep.
If that tells you,
They do have pretty epic campaigns, but they're just a different kind of vibe. Like, oh look, America's being invaded by this alternate history, technologically advanced Soviet Union. It's completely insane, but it is pretty epic. And yeah, it's mostly Red Alert. The normal Command & Conquer is much more muted.
Oh, okay.
I think Red Alert's got the spice. It's the one I've been wanting to play. I tried playing Command & Conquer 1, but it was so, like, weird. I kind of bounced off. I'd love to play it one day, but what?
But, like, I have not seen another RTS game that has the same epic storyline as what you get with a Blizzard game.
I'd say no. For me, nothing can quite beat the dynamic politics and backstabbing of StarCraft and Brood War. Like, you know, everyone basically having their own agenda that's like, you know, you're my friend until you aren't. We'll work together because you're going to help me get what I want, but as soon as I can, I'm going to make sure that there are no loose ends. Is something that 2 doesn't quite hit, but even then, when you look at StarCraft II's campaigns compared to a lot of... I don't want to make that comparison, but like, even StarCraft II is still a very highly polished campaign. I think definitely a lot more holes in it, but then again, Brood War just has some pretty lovely storytelling. Like, honestly, like, I would love to see, you know, essentially almost like a Brood War. I wouldn't quite say remaster, but like, if you just gave the developers like, hey, here's a bunch more, you can make a couple more cutscenes, you can make maybe like 5 or so more missions, bring like Brood War up to the StarCraft II polish in terms of like accessibility and, you know, adding additional dialogue, it'd be really, really slick. But
God, I would love to see that.
But I think it just also kind of speaks to just this, like, you are playing 3 different factions. Each of them have their own, essentially, their own culture. Terrans are obviously most related to us. You know, they have their back and forth politics and backstabbing and general shoot guns. The Protoss are very hyper culture religious kind of we gotta, embrace the old ways, or well, hey, like we need to change things up. And very, very much in a hierarchy, and then the Zerg are just like, survival of the fittest.
Nom.
You get the most essence, you win. Yeah, nom to win.
Did you ever play Warcraft 3, Seda?
I never actually played Warcraft 3. I haven't actually played a Warcraft game, period.
It's not as cinematic as, StarCraft 2 is. But they've got a fantastic story as well. Like, there's a reason why they were able to put out World of Warcraft and have it just hit so hard, is because everybody that grew up with Warcraft 2 and Warcraft 3, they just transitioned over to World of Warcraft to continue the story. Perhaps something that we could arrange at some point is you playing through that on stream, and I just kind of co-host with you. I would love to do that.
Something to keep in mind.
So, what would you say that StarCraft II was the last good single game they made after that? Like, single player game, we could say.
After what?
StarCraft II.
I mean,
Warcraft is an MMO.
Diablo, even Diablo 4 is still a complete single-player experience as far as I know.
But is it as good as StarCraft 2 and Warcraft 3?
I don't know about Diablo 4. I know that Diablo 1 and Diablo 2 were amazing. Diablo 3 was pretty good. It wasn't as good as 2. Mostly because they killed off Deckard Cain. The bastards. But that's beside the point. I enjoyed Diablo 3. I have not tried Diablo 4. I've heard there's been some issues with it, but I haven't looked into it much yet, because I haven't... Where things are with Blizzard right now, I don't really want to throw more money at them. You know?
Yep.
Like, as much as I love their worlds, I literally grew up with Blizzard games. Warcraft Orcs and Humans was one of the first games I ever played. Like, it's my childhood. And as a kid, one of my dreams was to work for Blizzard one day. I'm glad that dream did not come to fruition, but it was one as a kid.
I mean, you're not the only one, and you're not going to be the last person who said that, because from my recollection, who grew up on Blizzard, a lot of people want to work at Blizzard when they were a kid. Like, a lot of people. But with how they are nowadays, they shattered so many people's dreams, because they just look at the company and say, what happened to you?
I don't put the blame on Blizzard itself. Activision kind of destroyed everything. Bobby Kotick destroyed everything.
Yeah.
But, what Cold Fire?
But yeah,
But it's like I want to get more series like StarCraft and Warcraft. I want to see more RTS games with that beautiful single player campaign that you can play through and get invested in the characters of, like, one of my favorite campaigns, one of my favorite moments of gaming ever is Warcraft 3 playing through the Founding of Durotar campaign. It was a bonus campaign that they released, which was basically you were playing as Rexar, a half-ogre beastmaster, and he had his bear companion Misha, and you were going around helping found Durotar, doing quests for Thrall. And it actually feels a lot like World of Warcraft at the baseline of it, but it was a single-player experience. And it was a lot of fun. You were going between different maps and stuff and doing all sorts of different missions. It was just a good time.
Yeah, I think, to be a little bit cynical, I unfortunately feel like we're not going to get another, deeply cinematic RTS until we've had a slight paradigm shift in the gaming industry. Just because right now a lot of game development is still hammered on how can we make the most amount of money for the least amount of input. So basically, how can we make a game as a service platform that we can spend maybe 2 years on a game development and then start selling skins for 10, 15, 20 plus dollars.
Yep.
Like I remember watching like one of the Pirate Software shorts, and it's like the sparkly unicorn skin for World of Warcraft made more money than all of StarCraft II Wings Liberty. I'm pretty sure StarCraft II didn't lose money, but it wasn't rolling in money. So until game development goes back to a state where they are okay with, hey, this broke even, then I don't think we're going to see something like, a StarCraft 3 in the same quality StarCraft 2. Like,
I don't think it even needs to get back to a, hey, we broke even. It needs to just get back to a, okay, we did not make all of the money, but we made a really respectable profit off of this.
I mean, not even that. We honestly just need to go back to the mentality of, we want to make a game we want to make. We have a story we want to tell through games.
Oh.
And that's it. Like, look at, in recent years, Baldur's Gate 3. They had I would say an epically scaled branching narrative with so many derivatives and fail safes. Like, the things you can do in that game if you really want to just mess with the game is astounding. And you know what? They took the time in the game development, listened to feedback, and look at where they've gotten them. They have made so much on Baldur's Gate 3, earned an immense amount of community goodwill and support that, they didn't treat their customers like walking wallets. And yeah, I do hope that people who go into making the next RTS, like I know we have, it was like Stormgate, isn't it, like one of the ones that's in development right now?
Yeah, Stormgate is in development by a lot of the developers from StarCraft II, and I think the original StarCraft. they've got some pretty big names behind it from Blizzard. My big worry is this whole idea that they're going with the demons and, you know, fantasy demons versus sci-fi marines. You know, it's a weird clashing of genres.
They are getting a new art director, so it's possible we'll see things move in more.
Unfortunately, there is definitely a bit of like a sunk cost fallacy in gaming development. You're very rarely going to see like those big artistic shifts unless they're really committed.
I mean, well, not in the sense of like, I don't even mind the like fantasy demon, sci-fi human kind of wildness. It doesn't look good, but it could totally look fine. It just kind of depends on how you work on it.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm going for. And honestly, I was gonna say that like the other thing to keep in mind with companies with gaming is, there's also like very particular nuance to the individual companies. So, for example, Larian isn't really beholden to shareholders because it doesn't have any. It's owned by one person. And while it is ultimately at the whim of that one person, which gives its whole set of issues, if that one person says, you know, I really want Larian to make this kind of game. I want us to make the best kinds of games for this type of game. They can do it. Whereas like Activision Blizzard will never change because it's owned by shareholders. And what shareholders want is infinite growth forever.
Yep.
So they are beholden to completely different interests. And it genuinely, like, any major publicly owned like AAA gaming company will never get better. Because there is nothing that will ever make them get better. They have to like their ownership structure have to change.
Yep.
They have to fundamentally be broken down into like a new entity.
I'm actually slightly less cynical on that front. Just because I feel like the gaming industry in and of itself is slowly reaching that kind of bubble state.
Yeah, breaking point.
Because when every single game is trying to make a games as service, and I'm saying every as in like the broadest sense possible, but it, you know, that feeling that every single major AAA game coming out is trying to do a games as a service that is going to have a 10-year plan to have constant updates, and we need you to constantly buy the season battle pass skin, annual pass, microtransactions, like looking at me, Rainbow Six Siege, what the hell happened to you?
Yeah.
And then we get the drip feed of the Stardew Valleys, the Baldur's Gate 3s. You know, the, hey, I wanted to make a game. I'm going to respect your time. Modders, have at it. You enjoy the game that much that you want to actually, like, you know, put in XYZ characters and make your own assets? Go for it. Have fun. You know, like, gamers, you know, generally aren't stupid. If you make a fun game, like, you know, I also jump back to Warframe a lot. It's a game that, yeah, it has microtransactions, but very few content is actually limited. You can stop playing for 6 months, come back, and you've basically not missed a thing. You can play whenever you want. You can earn most of the stuff you need to progress just by playing the game. So if you enjoy the core gameplay, have at it, have fun. It's not for everyone though, so like when I try getting people into Warframe, it's like, hey, like you're either going to like this or you're not.
Yeah.
It doesn't force the issue. But look, those guys are what, like, I think in their 10th year of development or something like that.
There's
satisfactory.
Yeah. There are a lot of really good games that are coming out. But for me, like, I'm not necessarily looking for big cinematics like this. I'm just looking for solid characters and a good story. I want to get immersed in the lore of the world. And
absolutely.
It's like most games are being made for not that. They're being made to have as much time as that you can sink into it as possible. Like Age of Wonders 4. I love the game. I've played the hell out of it. But the lore doesn't draw me in. There are like 6 missions that are actual story missions, and that's it.
Actually, got a really good example for you of how it failed. Look at Overwatch.
Oh yeah.
Overwatch had a very aggressive initial marketing campaign towards the game launch, and they had a perfect recipe. They had a fresh gameplay take. You know, essentially the hero arena shooter was not particularly popular at the time, but they put the Blizzard spin on it. Made fun, diverse heroes. Where you look at that initial launch roster, you almost certainly could find someone you could attach yourself to, in terms of either I like playing this character or hey, this character has a vibe that I love, and they only added on to that. Looking at you, Moira, BFF. And the one thing that people were clamoring on for years was give us more PvE stuff. We want to see more of the stories. Like the Uprising, I think it was the London map, like the first one. Like, oh, we got to see a little bit of the initial war. Oh, we got to see Blackwatch, the behind the scenes stuff before people started going bad. We got to see like little snippets into like the missions and the lore, and while it was always looking back, we were getting stuff that was making us more interested in these characters and their stories. And people were like, give us more comics, give us more missions. And what happened over the course of game development? We started getting less of those for a period. More skins, more skins, more skins. Don't you want to buy this seasonal skin? Oh, well, we released enough where if you play like maybe 2 or 3 hours a day, you might get them all, but you probably want to buy more of those skins. And you're not quite sure when they come back. Oh, buy more skins. Buy the Overwatch team skins. We were getting less and less lore and just more and more skins. And the skins were cool, but it dragged on. And then we finally got Overwatch 2, and it's like, oh my goodness, you're going to actually finally have PvE. We can actually invest and move the story forward. Oh my goodness, yes. How does the battle pass sound? You guys wanted battle passes, right? Not the PvE missions, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and that, but
go ahead.
And that drove like so many people off because of ads.
Yeah, no, I haven't touched it. Like, I played the alpha version of Overwatch 2. And in like my third game, I got play the game. They didn't have the replay save feature or like the play the game feature in the game yet, despite it basically being the exact same engine. I was a little upset about that. I stopped playing. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to wait for the PvE. Like, I played way too much Overwatch. I had my fill. I was just going to wait for the PvE to get back into it. It never came. And look, so I've not installed the game. I might play it again at some point in the future, but I really still don't see a reason to.
I didn't even touch Overwatch 2 at all. But I was waiting for the PvE. Like, that's the main thing I was looking forward to of it. But, like you said, it never happened, so I never downloaded it. I never even played it. I had never even touched it.
Yeah, so like...
I didn't touch either of them. I saw them and I was just like... I don't trust them.
Yeah, but I mean, like, Overwatch was fun. I had a lot of great memories playing Overwatch.
I did too.
But, like, I had my fill of it. It essentially is a very competitive game, especially when you start grouping up. And, yeah, the people in charge lost sight of the fact that, yeah, a part of people's investment into the game was not just the gameplay, it was the characters. And did you invest in the characters as much as you should have? No, and now you've lost a portion, if not a large a pretty large portion of your player base.
I'll say even half.
Yeah, I haven't touched Overwatch 2 because of that. It's like, I enjoyed the first one, but after a while it was like, okay, I actually want to see some of the story of these characters. I want to be able to play through it. And nothing. And there is a market out there for PvE content, developers. Like, look at
Honestly,
Baldur's Gate 3 for crying out loud.
Honestly, I'd throw out the very specific statement that most people want PvE content. Just campaign storylines.
Oh, sorry, what was that? People are throwing
But I
things
throw
at
out
me,
the...
so I didn't hear it.
You're good, you're good. No, like, I throw out still the same statement, which is that, like, most people want that, not... Like, the PvP is fun and all. It's fun to watch for most people. But you know what, not gonna lie, like, the kind of people who play PvP, like Vanguard Games, he said it before. PvP is like 10% of your player base. Most people don't PvP. Most people don't have the time to sink every day into practicing PvP, getting better, yada yada, or get that much fun out of it. Most people do co-op, most people do PvE, most people do stories. When you get invested in the story, you get invested in the game. When you're invested in the game, you go, oh, look at these people playing competitively. You don't understand what's happening if you just open up a StarCraft II stream for competitive and you hear the pros yelling about, oh my god, the protoss warped in 17 zealots doing the zealot. You're like, what is a zealot? What is a protoss? I don't understand that. But then, like, yeah, at least for something like Rainbow Six, it's a little more intuitive because, well, we have too many action movies, so everyone kind of knows what shooting is. But then when you put it into like StarCraft II, nobody's gonna understand what's happening. Well, not at a glance. Maybe with a caster yelling. But the people who played the game, who liked the game, they're here to stay because they're invested into it. You need to give people an investment to stay into it, especially if you're going for something like an RTS setting, a not current real world setting. That's your campaign.
Yeah, what?
Like,
I
Blizzard,
actually...
I am sitting here. I am sitting here ready to throw money at StarCraft II. Give us the story. Give us stories of Tychus and Jim before all of this. Before Tychus went to jail. Give us little stories like those Nova missions. Give
I mean, actually,
me more. I have so many hours in StarCraft II, and I have not done PvP once.
I mean, do you know how many books would actually make great campaign missions? Like, there is actually a...
Oh yeah, the StarCraft books, yes.
Yeah, there is a book, I forget the name of it, it's like by my bedside, that is... The basic gist, if I recall correctly, is there is a bunch of rogue zerg that are attacking the Terrans and the Protoss, and it's threatening to respark the wars. And you have Valerian, Zagara, and Artanis that are trying to figure out what is going on. And there's also the weird, like, Zelnaga kind of, like, life being thing that Kerrigan gifted to the world that are, like, seeding life all across all over the place. That are also under threat. And spoiler for the book, I forget what it is again, but I think it came out a couple years ago, so apologies. But it turns out Abathur was behind it all. Abathur didn't agree with the whole peaceful Zerg thing because, you know, that went against the whole collecting essence and growing the swarm for strength and stuff. So basically, under his own fruition, it's like, I'm going to try to spark conflict because that's where the Zerg grow strong. Not breaking Abathur's character at all. But, like, imagine a mini Zerg campaign based like that, where you're playing, like, Zagar trying to figure out where these rogue feral Zerg are coming from that are attacking everything, causing the delicate piece there is to come undone, and only to find out that basically one of your most trusted advisors is betraying everything, but you can't kill them because you need them. Like, that's a quintessential StarCraft storyline, in my opinion. And that would make a great, like, 6 to 9 mission mini campaign. You know,
Yeah.
Like you talk about a lot about, like, you know, looking at like some of these really past events that are, you know, iconic for some of these characters. I also want to look at hey, let's look at some of these like little pocket stories after the main epilogue that, you know, we've had 2 great wars now and a brood war and very delicate peace between 3 very different factions. What does that look like? Because not everyone's going to be happy. Some people are going to be rebellious. Some people are going to have their own agendas. Like, explore that.
Yeah, I genuinely don't even, like, I even think it's good in the sense that you start probing with these campaigns, you start kind of steering it all in a broad narrative direction. Like, hey, you want to go for, let's just set the sector at peace to give everyone a nice conclusion to sort of like properly cap off the series. People are dealing with their internal conflicts, and the 3 races have lived happily ever after with some difficulties. Cool. Or, you know, if you want to probe interests, right? Start setting up mini conflicts. Yes, some of these characters get their conflicts resolved, but some of them leave lingering tensions. It turns out the Protoss are in the middle of an internal power grab, and Artanis is actually struggling. And even though he gets help from the other factions, it still leaves him with the sense that, okay, we resolved this current situation, but who's behind this? We don't actually know what's happening here. And there might be a 3rd big war brewing under the surface. You know, but do people want StarCraft 3?
I mean, do you really think that after the events of the main campaign, Artanis and, what's his face?
Valerian?
No. Alarak. You think they're just gonna go la-di-da off to their own little sunsets?
Yeah.
Oh no, they're always going to have a little skirmish, but I think it's also at the moment a mutual understanding. It's like, because I mean, look, Alarak really only cares about controlling the Tal'Darim. Like, as long as his rule of the Tal'Darim is absolute, he doesn't really care. And I just love it how at the end of Legacy of the Void, it's like, yep, my minions, you have one opportunity to leave for the Daylom, and that's it. You may leave, but if you don't take this opportunity now, you are mine.
And Alarak really is kinky.
Yeah, like, I don't see, like...
There's also... Just looking at these co-op missions. What the fuck happened to Stetman?
Don't worry about it.
Look, it just...
I am legit here. I want to know so bad what the hell happened to him between Wings of Liberty and this. And I know you guys cannot see me gesturing, but I am pointing at that view of him.
If I recall correctly, there is an alternative branch timeline in which he got, for some reason, left behind on Belshir. And so basically, scientists alone with a bunch of gas. Yeah.
You just leave it as that.
But I'm meaning, but my point here is, give me missions to play this.
No. But sadly, we know Blizzard won't do that anymore.
I
mean, actually, I was just here a bit stumbled because I'm looking at I'm looking at like the state of the board after Legacy of the Void. You have Valerian Mengsk and basically Matt Horner, who are promising basically a more peaceful Dominion. You have the Kelmorans out there, but they've been pretty happy to just do their own thing. And what we saw with the Nova Covert Ops missions is that, there was a little bit of like internal strife, but like that got shut down. The Zerg in the books have their internal strife, but Zagara is pretty much like, was trained to be the leader of the Zerg. Like, you had Kerrigan, who actually had a human heart, decide, yeah, like, you know, here's the ideals of the Zerg, but you don't have to go blindly murder everyone. You know, so Zagar being a little bit more diplomatic, leading a peaceful swarm, all things considered. And then you have the Protoss, who you have the Alarak there, but you know, he doesn't seem to be the warmongering kind. He just wants to have power in the Tal'Darim. Artanis, you know, has put together this Daylom, which definitely probably the shakiest. You know, because you have God, I'm forgetting the name now for the Ire Protoss, but you have Ire Protoss, the Nerazim, you have the Purifiers, all kind of brought in under the umbrella of this is the survival of our race. Not everyone probably is going to be aboard of that, and there probably will be some internal strife there. Some people who like want to go back to their separate ways or whatever, but I don't see anyone right now who is so power hungry that they want to just immediately spark a third Great War. But speaking of Stepman there, I could totally see them legitimately pulling some mirror universe shenanigans out there.
Yeah.
I feel like that is actually probably how you shake up, you know, the Kapulu sector. You know, you have...
The point here boils down to a simple, we want more.
Because unfortunately, I feel like there has been one flaw of StarCraft II. And I think that's purely because since the shift for StarCraft II was from you playing an unnamed commander or executor or whatever in StarCraft and Brood War to you are Jim Raynor, you are Sarah Kerrigan, you are Artanis, it didn't really allow enough space for these other characters to grow, in my opinion. Because who are the top 3 characters in your view, and this is just going to go to everyone in chat as well, for each of the factions?
Zagara.
Like the Zerg are probably the most fleshed out. You have Zagara, you have Abathur.
You mean in terms of like power?
I would say in terms of power, but also notoriety. Like, a part of like our attachment to like Raynor, to Artanis, is that we got to see them grow over the course of the campaigns. But we didn't really see too much growth. I would probably say Zagar had the most growth out of any character in StarCraft II. But you look at, I think in particular on the Terran side, you have Valerian Mengsk and Matt Horner. And then, I guess Nova? Like, Swan didn't really get too much focus. Tychus is dead. Octurus is dead.
Stepman, clearly.
Yeah, Stepman, I guess.
I mean, honestly, if anything, that's kind of what I think the one thing I would have loved to see. I would still have loved to see more shenanigans between Matt and Valerian, because not only do I think there's a lot of opportunity here, this is where I think like you're sort of right in that sense that if you think about it with the Zerg, you do explore a bit of the different Zerg brood mothers. Even if you're only touching on them, you kind of get a feel for like, okay, there are different like Zerg factions within the Zerg, and like you interact with some of their brood mothers, you interact with some of their broods in some of the evolution missions. And it's not very heavy, but it's kind of the light touch because we're mostly focusing on Kerrigans / Zagaras here, right? And with the Protoss, you arguably get the most like factional differences and the most obvious different ones. Literally, the units are different for some of them. But then for Terran, right? I kind of think there could be an entire explosion of the Dominion, because like Valerian Mengsk missed a comment of and I thought Dominion politics were vicious. Like, okay, well, now that Mengsk is dead, what happens? Do you have like different people within the Dominion now trying to take power? Do you have like most likely a power vacuum formed by Mengsk falling? Because I'm assuming even though Valerian is kind of the heir in question, well, Arcturus is just lost. The Zerg like essentially beat Mengsk. Does that not create like doubt to the legitimacy of Valerian's leadership now? But
You
like he
see,
was also clearly affiliated to the rebels, so like where does this go?
you see a little bit of it in Legacy of the Void, and it's a bit more explored well in the Nova missions. Like there are cinematics in Legacy of the Void where it's like, yeah, Valerian's basically being the leader. How much of that is like full loyalty? But yeah, generally it's seen that Valerian is the legitimate leader and has stepped up to his role and is, trying not to like be completely tyrannical. But what I worry about if they want to continue the storyline for StarCraft is just the fact that we don't have that depth of character attachment. Because look, like Raynor effectively got, I would say, almost 3 campaigns worth of character development. Because he was alongside you in the first StarCraft campaign. He was a recurring character in the Zerg and was there at the end of the Protoss campaign, was very much a part of the Protoss story, if just as a side character, and was there to basically chip and pieces there till the end, and then had the full Wings of Liberty campaign. Kerrigan, very similar treatment, side supporting character for first one, the main focus of the Zerg campaign, basically the queen bee of the universe for the entirety of Brood War. And then she's basically the focus of Wings of Liberty and the entirety of Heart of the Swarm. How many characters are actually getting that much attention? And having enough opportunity to actually build those bonds with the players to get them really want to invest in the story. Like, are we really curious to see how Corner's story progresses? Because he kind of ended up where you'd expect. The very calm, stoic, side or right-hand man of Raynor ends up basically heading like the Admiralty or the military. I forget which one. Unless you start, unless you start like tossing some more conflict into him, like he's kind of ended up where he's going to be.
Well, but like with Horner, I've always found it weird because like Horner does have the dream of like the better future, and I could easily see a conflict where like, sure, Valerian has kind of been a good boy, but at the same time, he probably still doesn't quite go like, oh yeah, no, I want to see a democracy here. Whereas I could totally see Horner being more of an ideologue there and just being like, maybe there is something here to this. Maybe some of Jim's ideas were correct. You can't really negotiate with these people. I think internally there could be conflict.
Yeah, my overall concern is that you effectively killed off Raynor. Not entirely confirmed, but Raynor's gone, Kerrigan's gone, Zeratul gone. I feel like we've lost our torchbearers, and the torches haven't been passed off properly.
But they could be very easily.
Yeah, well, I feel like, for example, if Jim Raynor were still in play, imagine a new StarCraft storyline that comes along and, we're focusing on maybe Valerian or Horner, or maybe some other faction, like maybe the Kelmorans or the likes, and we're telling a story. And yeah, you have Jim Raynor come in when someone's at their lowest point, and is using their knowledge and passing it on and helping the protagonist rise up to meet the issue. Maybe it's an issue that's outside of Jim's hands, but you as the player character just need to learn a little bit more. I don't know how well you do that for the Zerg, but because that's a whole hierarchy there. But yeah, similar thing. Like imagine with the Protoss, there is a lot of maybe a couple years down the road, the factions are reforming, and people are getting lost in their ideals and their old beliefs, and you have just Zeratul coming around there, just still trying to uncover whatever mysteries are still to be uncovered, and you as a young executor have the power to help avoid a coming crisis, or at least stave it off, and you have that old hero to help guide you. Like Artanis, well, he's a character that's risen up and is now the de facto ruler of the Daylom. Like I don't feel like he has that passing the torch potential. And I have to say he's one of my favorite characters. Like I'm saying that right now. Like I have the freaking StarCraft II Artanis poster in my room. But yeah, I feel like we cut off too many of the characters too soon, and they didn't quite. And I think probably the other thing is they didn't quite get the send-offs they needed to. Like, spoilers alert for what's coming on YouTube. Like, I'm not happy with what happened with Zeratul. I'll leave it at that. It was epic, but I'm not happy. And I'm not particularly happy with how we handled Jim Raynor and Sarah Kerrigan. I have my gripes about just some of the stuff in StarCraft II, as much as I love it, but those three things in particular, I wish I could just go back to whoever suggested that and basically just smack him with a Zerg plushie. It's like, think about what you're doing for a moment. You're selling t-shirts of these characters. Think about what you're doing for a moment before you do it. Oh my god. Why don't you just now picture just Dart just slapping the head writer, just be like, "Do you have memory problems?" Just looking at the quote there in chat.
Let's be honest. If they do ever release a StarCraft 3, who's actually gonna buy it pre-order?
Definitely not pre-order. We do not pre-order video games.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't pre-order anything nowadays.
There is definitely nuance to that statement, and yes, I have pre-ordered two video games in the past. That being StarCraft II Legacy of the Void and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, because I got a double pack that I sent to Abby. But like, generally don't pre-order video games. Like, even if you are certain you're going to buy it, like, it's just bad practice. And I'm saying that, like, I've pre-ordered things and I feel like, you know what, I shouldn't have pre-ordered them. Would I have probably bought them anyway in the end? Probably. But on principle, we probably should avoid pre-ordering video games.
I don't remember the last time I pre-ordered something, to be honest. I know it was a Switch game, but that was like a while ago now. That's the last thing I pre-ordered. Because after that, I never did. I'd rather watch reviews, watch some gameplay here and there to see if I like it. Then I'll buy it if it interests me.
It's like we were talking about, I think we were talking about it here, like the Game Awards, like the most anticipated game as a award category to be won. Like, no.
That was... Really?
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Hold on. Yeah, no, so the Game Awards has a category called Most Anticipated Game, and you have the category nominees for this year were Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Ghost of Yotei, Metro Prime 4 Beyond, Monster Hunter Wilds, and Grand Theft Auto 6, which was the game that won.
Is anybody surprised? Is anybody really surprised about that?
No, but I'm like, why is this a game category?
In the first place?
Yeah, well, like, why is this an award category?
Yeah.
Like...
It's dumb. It's
well, no,
really dumb.
it's effectively marketing.
Yeah.
And, like, not to pivot too much, because I still want to beat the dead horse that is pre-orders. Like, pre-orders, and some of them still do, but generally pre-orders used to have, like, some really nice perks. It's like, you know, hey, I really like this game franchise, I'm really excited for this game, and oh my goodness, you get a cute little figurine that's an exclusive pre-order. And probably a bunch of other stuff.
I think that's the reason why I pre-ordered a lot too, because like you get a lot of good things for it.
No, but these days, a lot of the pre-order bonuses are either digital or non-existent.
Yep.
So there's no point in pre-ordering. All you're doing is giving money that they haven't really earned.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, there's a way for game developers to like handle that, where you know you have like, you know, hey, open play tests, or you know, hey, play these free demos that like you know introduce you to more and more of the game. But yeah, as I said, nuance for don't pre-order video games, but generally don't pre-order video games. It's just gonna it just creates more bad games.
Yep.
But yeah,
sadly, we're just a small part of the gaming community.
Yeah.
Because the people who play GTA 5, people who play Call of Duty, those people are always going to pre-order those games every single time.
Yeah.
And we all know it.
Yeah. But overall, I feel like, and we're going to beat this dead horse again after we play. Look, just turn me into a horse at this point. But
you heard him,
like,
Artis.
But like, a StarCraft III is definitely going to struggle for a couple factors. You know, the big AAA developers are still very much in a profit-driven mindset, where they're going to try to find every single way to squeeze out every single dime from everyone's wallets.
Mm-hmm.
And a single-player campaign is not really profitable in their eyes. Like, trying to remake, like, Wings of Liberty is not going to be seen as a profitable venture. Trying to add on the level of writing. And, doesn't have to be as fancy cinematics, but, the level of cinematics that help immerse you and help you become invested in these characters is not going to be seen as something that's necessary to make a final product. And so I worry that any kind of sequel to StarCraft is going to struggle to capture that narrative gameplay magic that, even now we are having fun with. It's going to basically take a big leap of faith from whoever gives the green light, basically like, hey, it's been basically 14 years since, or I think it's coming up to 14 years, like 14 years since like StarCraft II released, and, been 9 years since Legacy of the Void. Let's just have a crack at it, keep it current. And I think the extra part of StarCraft II's longevity is just how from day one they were open in terms of, hey, we have is it like the map maker or whatever it's called? Like the side companion to actually make arcade games?
What about it?
Well, like, that was basically StarCraft II out of the gate. Like,
oh yeah.
You had the campaign, you had the multiplayer, which, look, you had equal parts hype there, because you had people who were like, hey, I want to see how StarCraft stories continues, because heck, Brood War ended on such an epic note. You have people who are like, look, we love StarCraft competitively, we want to see the next thing. And you have people who like just played arcade games that are excited at the new tools. And I mean, look at what we've been playing. Someone has taken the time, and there's probably a small team behind it, or one super talented individual, but you have someone who's taken the time to remake these campaigns to be playable up with 3 people. And I know we saw a version there with like up to 7 people. Like, having the tools do that to basically say like, hey, here's the campaign mission, tweak it how you want. Do you want to just play, Wings of Liberty as Sarah Kerrigan? Have fun. You could do it.
Yeah.
Not many games actually allow you to have that much access to essentially the development tools. Like, I'm starting to get the feeling that Baldur's Gate 3 might be reaching that threshold, but like, yeah, Blizzard set the standard here in terms of what you could do with the tools. And
but they never use it again.
They used it once or twice, but honestly, I don't think they needed to. Like, I would argue they did what they could to show off, hey, you can make different kinds of games in the StarCraft II like editing engine. I mean, look at bloody hell. They made Heroes Out of the Storm out of StarCraft II. Like, they did what they needed to. And the passionate people did the West, and they didn't get in the way of it, to my knowledge. Like,
actually, they didn't originally release with the arcade, but the arcade itself is such a stroke of genius. Because, like, Warcraft 3 has had those kinds of maps of insane stuff. But you couldn't find them. Because they didn't have that arcade that has all of these maps that people have made over the years just sitting here. Like, sure, you still have to find them in this list, and there are so many of them, but
and more. Oh.
I mean, look at even the campaigns tab. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
that one.
Wings of Liberty Zerg Edition.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's just... They made it available.
And I mean, just look at the entirety of what's on offer here. You have your campaign. You have basically 3.5 full duration campaigns, which at this point in the game's lifespan is probably heavily discounted. You have co-op, which has increasing amounts of difficulty, map variety, and hero selection. So if you want to mix things up and you enjoy it, you can just mix things up. You have the versus mode at the end of things that have not just 1v1, but 2v2, 3v3, 4v4s, Archon mode. Honestly, the best thing they did for Legacy of the Void. You have your custom, lobbies. You can do melee maps, the arcade, and yeah, you have tournaments in there too. Like, there's a lot that StarCraft II offers. That I'm sure like the the player base isn't breaking any numbers, but like there's a lot to come back to at the time and time again. And I worry that any kind of future iteration of any future RTS iteration of StarCraft is not going to scratch a quarter of this. Like,
I'm just
Go
gonna
on.
say it. It's not going to scratch a quarter of this. This has such a huge community behind it that anything new that comes out of it, it'll just be small. It'll be like a miracle of what this game came out to be. Because it has such a huge amount of stuff you can do that anything they put out for the remake, StarCraft III, or anything like that, it'll feel so small compared to it.
I feel like, honestly, the worst thing they could possibly do, if they were to say, hey, we're going to make a new StarCraft RTS, we're going to do a StarCraft 3, I feel like the absolute worst thing they could do is in any way shut down StarCraft 2.
Agreed.
Because I know one of the... If I recall correctly, with the Warcraft 3 Reforged, they basically shut down like the old version of the game. Please correct me if I'm wrong on that one.
I'm not certain on that front.
Gotcha. But like, if they do anything to essentially shut down the servers for StarCraft 2 without having some kind of equivalent in a third iteration, things are going to be worse off. Because they delisted... Okay, thank you. I know it was like some kind of version like that where I think you couldn't actually like buy the old version anymore. It was only like the Reforged.
Which nobody liked at all.
Unfortunately, they kind of slid some legal mumbo-jumbo in there with the Reforged edition that really did not sit well, and they promised the moon and delivered
a mooncake.
A tree. Though they did go back, and I haven't looked at it, but apparently they have at least started to actually deliver on what they promised.
Like, the thing is that should have that the promise should have happened at the beginning, not at the end.
Well, yeah, I agree.
That's why I'm so still conflicted buying what's that game called? The 2077 game, whatever it's called.
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk, thank you. That's why I haven't bought that one yet, because I'm still to me, I'm still mad that it took this long to fix an issue that shouldn't be an issue in the first place. But I don't want to support a company that does that.
I mean, look, I will say, I don't think it's an effective strategy, but I will have respect for companies that pull a No Man's Sky.
Yeah, I was going to say there.
No Man's Sky is a particular. Oh my god, they actually did it.
Yeah, like they face planted into the mud out of the gate. Like they somehow fell backwards at the gate and got covered in mud. But you know what? They stuck with it and they've developed a game that people now really love. And I actually need to check out myself at some point. I don't want that to be the standard for game development going forward, where we give all these promises, get as many people through the door, and be like, well, hey, just give us some time to fix it. Like, you shouldn't have released that in the first place, but hey, respect for people who actually make the mistake and own up to them and fix them. I just want that to be the norm.
Yeah, the norm right now, though, is promise them, promise all these things, deliver nothing, and then just, dump the game and move on.
Mm-hmm.
Which, we've seen plenty of evidence that all these other companies could have done. I mean, the Hello Games with No Man's Sky could have done that.
And yet, they kept their promise. They might have not started it, but they kept the promise of how many updates, how many improvements they made.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we do not want that to be the standard, but I also will support a company that does at least stick with it. The same goes for Cyberpunk 2077. Like, yeah, that was another example of eating dirt right out the gate. But from what I have heard, they have started to... They have been fixing it.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, I heard... Yeah.
Like, yes, they definitely should have... It should not have been in that state. Released in that state. No way, no how. But also, they were... They have been working to fix it.
Yep. Just talking about this, like, yeah, you're both right. If they fixed the issue they had, they didn't need to, but they did.
And Key is very correct there.
What did Key say?
One of the issues is less developers themselves, but publishers and investors pushing for things to be released sooner.
True.
Look at City Skylines 2.
Yeah. So many times that these publishers are not listening to developers. The developers are like, no, we need more time. But the publishers are like, no, we need you to release this right now.
And now it became a train wreck. And it's still a train wreck. Because it's still having a lot of issues with City Skylines 2. And I was hyped for
Captain
that.
Tom.
I really was hyped for that too.
Oh, Seda and I were as well.
Yep.
But when I saw the reviews, when I saw the issues, my heart just sank. My heart sinks so hard. And I still come back to it on the Steam page, and yeah, it's still a buggy mess.
I think they've been getting better from what I've heard.
Yeah, City Skylines is no longer really I was about to say bloody, but it's not really a buggy mess per se. But where I feel like City Skylines 2 has kind of stumbled a little bit is the fact that they didn't quite have a vision out of the gate of what they wanted. Like, there was actually a bit of a paradigm shift around Economy 2.0, where they were sitting down with the content creators, and effectively City Skylines 2 was being developed as almost like a city painter, as opposed to a city builder.
What?
Yeah, no, there was some critical nuances missed with the development team where they thought most of the people liked the city essentially painting aspect of it as opposed to the city building. So there was a lot of stuff underneath the hood that would basically make sure your city never failed. There was no challenge.
We want the challenge.
Like, it was effectively impossible to fail because your city would always be covered with government subsidies.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah. They've been slowly changing things, and like, I'm keeping an eye on for like when they have their next like proper DLC. Because right now we've been getting a lot of like content creator packs or like, global city packs. Like, I think like there's a UK building assets out right now. I've last played Cities like back in August, and I think I last played it before that, like probably in June. The game doesn't feel as good as City Skylines, but City Skylines is also still kind of buggy in itself. Like, to make the big cities that I want to make, the game actually falls apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope they fix trash at some point. That was the biggest bug I was running into, is the trash collection just not working. Also, ferret in a box. Blee is short for Buizel.
Weasel.
So cute.
But yeah, that's why I never picked up City Skylines 2 as of right now, because I'm just waiting for all this to get fixed. Because the price they're asking for it and the buggy mess it still has ish, it's not worth it for me yet. I remember when City Skylines 1 came out, and it was like a fresh of wonderful air.
Also, be back a moment.
Okay.
Like, for me, City Skylines was such a wonderful thing because it was competition for EA.
Yep.
Up to that point, you basically just had SimCity, and that was it.
But now we have the opposite situation of where nobody's competing with City Skylines 2.
Oh no, now we are getting a lot of competition.
Oh?
Yes. And that is something that I will always be in support of.
I didn't know there was competition for City Skylines 2.
Competition breeds ingenuity.
Yep.
Competition drives prices down. When there are a lot of people that want your type of product, they're going to they're going to do whatever they can to make their product the most appealing option. It's also why you wind up with cable companies being so shit. Because they all have monopolies in their little regions. Cox, Comcast. I know there's a couple of others out there, but those I think are the two biggest ones here in the U.S. It's like they have no reason to improve their service. And it was something that I saw in Utah when I was living there, that Google Fiber started coming into the area. And then suddenly my service went from going down about once a week or more to, oh, suddenly it's become much more stable. Oh, they're increasing my speeds. Oh, my price went down a little bit. Oh, there's no more data cap.
Like, once they see competition, like, oh crap, we actually have to try now.
Well, yeah, because otherwise it's like, what are you going to go with? Dial-up?
Yep.
Or I guess DSL, whatever it is that they call it, which, let's be real, it's not worth it.
I guess that's one good thing about living in a big city. There's always competition for cable companies here.
There is not.
I'm talking about the way where I'm living, I should say.
It might be different, but I highly doubt that it actually is.
I mean, at least for me, like wherever there's a city, there's always like 5 companies fighting to lay down fiber optic.
Exactly. Yep.
Fiber optic and cable are two different technologies.
Well, with cable, it just depends. Usually what ends up happening is they tend to get like group packagings for condominiums or apartments or the like, and they do fight over those because the reputation matters a lot. Because usually when you're building in an area, then people like, for example, in the apartment in here, we could just vote to kick out the current cable company. People don't because nobody cares. But if the internet starts sucking, they probably could, and they probably would. So whenever we have a problem, they come to fix it really quick.
When it comes to cable, when it comes specifically to cable, that is, I don't know what Gabe Gab's talking about there, Ferret, but when it comes to cable, the entire U.S. is divided up between a couple of companies. I don't, like, technically, I guess by the barest margin of law, they do not have a monopoly, but they have a monopoly. It's just on these very specific areas. Like here in Nebraska, it's Cox. In Utah, it's Comcast. You cannot get another cable company in the same area that one exists. That said, you can have other technologies come in. There is DSL, there is satellite, there is fiber optic.
And that's where it started being disruptive of their monopoly.
Yes.
All right, I am back.
Welcome back.
They're not worried about... We're kind of just talking about monopolies in general now.
And fair, what I mean is
and competition.
Just in case, like the apartment, like the company that the apartment belongs to, they do allow the board here to like. They give them a little more leeway on a lot of the services. Basically, they don't change, but in theory, they could just go like, okay, well, we're not renewing our signature with the one we currently have. We're gonna go to T-Mobile or AT&T or whatever.
Well, those are different technologies. But you cannot kick out Cox and bring in Comcast.
Actually, I don't actually even know if we have cable in here, actually. Because I think we just have like a separate... I don't think it's cable. I think it's just like wireless TV stuff here. I need to go look at how it's set up, because the last time I turned on that TV was ages ago. Actually, like, so I know that's something I'm even seeing now, like with Dutcher missing. I've seen like a lot of areas that don't even bother with cabling agreements. They just set up fiber internet and that's it. And it's like, oh,
yeah.
let me put Netflix on the smart TV and that's it, done. Like in here, we have to pay extra because the agreement they have with the provider is like a bundle of everything. So it's like, yeah, you have to pay like $50 a month and you get everything. But then if you want faster internet, yeah, you have to pay separately. But we don't really have a choice as to whether we want to pay it or not. But at the same time, that's a fragile agreement. I know, and mind you, it happened just solely because the at some point the apartment was really, really annoyed at the provider, and they threatened to kick them out because they weren't complying with their parts in the contract, and that was a whole disaster. It was years ago, but oh my goodness, I was so happy we weren't here when it happened. I just heard the spicy stories of the people who have been living here like this entire time since the apartment opened. It's just...
I've worked in cable and cable tech support and billing for Comcast and for a short while Cox. I got to learn how these things have kind of been set up on the back end across the country. It's
I'm sorry,
shitty.
You need to stop saying the name of that company. I can't.
Oh, I know. You're right. You're right. They rebranded to Xfinity.
Wait, did they?
Yeah, Comcast rebranded to Xfinity.
Oh man,
I think Gibgab was talking about the other one.
What's wrong with Cox? Do you have an issue with me saying Cox? What's wrong with Cox?
Seriously. I can't take it seriously.
Do you have an issue with Cox?
I mean, I certainly don't.
Yeah, I like Cox.
Gib, your mind's smoking a gutter.
Yes.
They've actually been pretty decent to me, you know? They're not as evil as Comcast. They're still evil, don't get me wrong, but, you know.
I mean, just like any corporation's going to ask you to bend over.
Yep.
It's the Rod situation all over again. Shut up, Key.
I mean, hey, I must got very extremely lucky. I use Xfinity, and I never had any issues with them at all. So I probably got extremely lucky.
Ah, yes, Ren and his rod.
Good freaking!
Bruh.
Breathe.
But, yeah, either way, it's just... Well, we kind of got on this subject, Seda, because, you know, I was like, there are a lot of other city builders coming out, and I am all for it because competition breeds ingenuity. It makes the service better for the consumer.
So, my question is, what other competition games that's going to come out? I had no idea. I literally didn't.
Unfortunately, I am too sick to bring any off the top of my head. But I know that there are several that are already out. None come to mind as far as a, you know, modern day kind of setup. But I know that there are some in the works. I've seen them pop up here and there of other companies trying to, you know, get in on that market share with the
City Skylines.
Yeah, the fiasco with City Skylines.
And right now, it's probably the best time to do it, with how much City Skylines 2 blundered.
I mean, that's how City Skylines 1 began.
Yep.
EA released their latest SimCity, and it was a garbage fire, and... well, then we got City Skylines.
Like, and City Skylines was in development way before, was in development before SimCity released, but you kind of had that, like, all the ingredients there for, like, hey, people want a city builder that, you know, didn't get that itch scratched with SimCity. So, yeah, when you have a demand, people want to fill it. And City Skylines was exactly what people were looking for. Wasn't perfect, but it was good.
Yep.
I'm gonna play City Skylines now. I haven't seen it.
What can I say except you're welcome?
Say you're sorry.
For me, I'm really looking forward to Pair Lives coming out. I want The Sims taken away from EA. I was so devastated when I found out that Paradox canceled Life by You.
Yeah.
And it's not so much because of the fact that they canceled it. Like it wasn't necessarily that I wanted them to be leading it. It was just, I want competition for EA. And nobody is filling that.
Nope.
And so EA just keeps milking The Sims for every little penny they can get. They keep running it into the ground. They keep chopping it up more and more and more. Charging $5 for vacuum fucking cleaners. Like, The Sims 3 was a great installment. Then they took a huge step backwards with The Sims 4, and it's just, they're not getting any competition, so why make the service better when they can milk it more?
Yep. Because they know people are going to buy it. They have no other choice. There's no other games like SimCity. Not City. Sims, The Sims. So, why bother giving them a better service if they're still gonna buy it?
A side point on this, fuck these companies that are doing trademarks for various systems.
Yep.
Yep.
Or at the least, the government needs... I'd be okay with, like, a, 5-year timeline that they can protect that feature for. But it needs an expiration date. Because I'm okay with, somebody coming up with a new idea and wanting to protect their idea. But when they can last, 20, 30, 40 years?
You can blame Disney for that.
Yeah. No, trademarks are not copyrights, but they are still a thing that you have to navigate. Like the Nemesis system that Warner Brothers trademarked. It's like that. By all accounts, that was a cool system that I would have loved to see expanded by people. But nobody wants to.
Use it.
Yeah, nobody wants to go even close to it with a 50-foot fucking pole because they don't want Warner Brothers coming down on them.
Yep.
Whatever fucking legal nonsense they filed it under, I don't care if it's a trademark, a patent, copyright, or fucking tattooed onto their bug holes. It's bullshit.
A trademark is used to protect a brand. A copyright is more for protecting your artistic or literary expressions, and patent is for specific invention, process, etc. That's your very short TLDR.
You're right. I am sick. I am still sick. My brain's still not all here.
I am sick of these game companies trying to, drain our wallets.
Yes, Coldfire. That was in the Lord of the Rings game.
And it was such an interesting system, but it's being held back. Held back by Warner Bros. For patenting that idea.
Whatever legal term they use, just it needs to stop or have a clear expiration date on it. That does not change.
But the problem with that is that the legal system is so behind the times that it's just hard. It's so hard and annoying. It didn't coincide with how the new technology is being used by these patented systems. These were created when pen and paper exist, and that was it. Computers were not a thing when the legal system was created.
There are some things that I will make a begrudging exception for. Like, I have a hard time, holding it against Nintendo for getting uppity with people over catching things with a ball. That is their brand. And brand confusion is a problem.
Especially since Nintendo knows how fast it can go downhill for them.
Yeah. It's one of those things where I am on the fence. Because on the one hand, it is their brand. On the other hand, I don't want any systems like this to be, patented or whatever. But at the same time, like I said, it's their brand. And there are so many other ways that people can go about it and have been going about it. Some use cards, some use cassettes or, digivices or whatnot.
And baseball use jerseys.
It's, you have other options. If they were to file a patent and be like, yeah, we own the concept of capturing creatures I'd be like, yeah, fuck you. But they were very specific about catching creatures with a ball.
Yep.
Yeah,
That I can be okay with.
And pretty much this is what it boils down to. Everything you do is to protect the trademark. You know, Pokemon Pocket Monsters is the crown jewel. And commonly you use your copyrights to protect your trademark. That's why, you know, you could have parody yellow electric mouses, but you can't make Pikachu. And then we get to the weird nuances where, like, they feel like they have to go down the patent route to protect the trademark. Because, yeah, brand dilution is a thing. But it boils back down to, yeah, you have every right to defend that, but at what point does that become limiting to game development?
Yeah. I'm okay with it being very specific and very simple. Like I said, using balls to catch creatures. Cut it there. Protect that. Protect your actual creature, your monsters, your Pokemon, but don't go too far with it. But like the Nemesis system itself is one where it's like, it is such a broad subject that they have protected, that Warner Brothers has sat there and been like, yeah, nobody else can even touch this concept in any remote way. That is when it's bad. Go ahead.
You do kind of run also into what cars are saying, which is true, or teasing. That's true. That's like, it's regional copyright also makes a big difference because this kind of thing isn't universal. Like sometimes Nintendo will get away with what they get away with in the States, but or not in Japan. Sorry, they will get away with what they get away with in Japan, but not in the States, for example, which is a big legal entanglement because resolving that is difficult to say the least. Because you can't really like make a universal copyright system for every country. They'll all like argue about it, and vice versa. You kind of also can't really go like, well, you know what? It should work this way everywhere. So
well, that is a different situation as well. It's a little different in that regard because here in the U.S., a company has to protect, if they find out about something infringing on their copyright, patent, or what else, or what have you, even remotely, they have to protect it. Otherwise, they set a precedent that can be used against them later in something more serious.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in Japan, there is a lot more leeway on that. Like, you can just choose... I'm not a legal expert, but from what I understand from the videos and, you know, studies I've done on that, in Japan, it's a bit more nuanced than that, where people can do things, and if they choose not to crack down on it, it's fine. They can still crack down on something else later. But it is a big problem with the way the laws are set up here in the US of, if you even one time you let it get through without cracking down on it, that can bite you in the ass later on. That one person making that 7-year-old making a Mickey Mouse, if they don't crack down on it, well, then, you know, company B comes along 10 years later makes the same or similar thing, and they're like, well, Disney didn't crack down on this 7-year-old over there. Well, clearly that was fine, and so it's fine for us to do it. Again, I'm not a legal expert. I know a lot more about how it works here in the US than I do Japan, but that's the general gist of what I understand of why Nintendo doesn't crack down as harshly on things in Japan as they do here in the US.
Though, good lord, we've definitely gone on a tangent.
Yes,
StarCraft.
yes, we have.
I'm not sure who started it though, so I was gonna say sorry, but my mind's like who actually started the tangent?
It's not about who started it; it's about who's gonna end it.
Finish it.
We have gone on many tangents.
Weasel.
We
indeed.
We leave it.
Well, I think we are done with StarCraft for the night. Unless you guys do want to start Protoss.
Definitely not tonight.
Oh. I know I've got birthday stuff tomorrow. I am thinking of doing some StarCraft, guys. More, open for everybody to pop in and do other things like Direct Strike and such. I also have plans for Tower Unite, so if you guys don't have any of that, or if you guys don't have that game already, I highly, highly recommend it. It is so much fun.
Sadly, I won't be able to join in, but I'll be on voice.
I know. Your presence will be appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Got that birthday thing going on tomorrow. For tonight, I think I got enough energy for a little bit more streaming.
So I do have a question. When are you going to start your quote-unquote marathon?
I am uncertain. Right now, my sleep schedule is all over the place, so I have no idea when exactly I will start tomorrow. So you guys will have to keep look out
just
on the
keep an eye on
Discord.
it. Yeah, just keep an eye on it.
I'll make the announcements I always do.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll probably be starting with Tower Unite tomorrow, so...
I'm sorry, Master.
For what?
We're not able to join in.
I mean, it's okay. I mean, sure, you could have, waited another day or two to get that going, so you could actually spend my birthday with me, but, it's okay.
Well, it was just like, it's...
like I did for your birthday.
Oh my god.
You're the one apologizing, so I figured I'd give you an actual reason to apologize. But I love you, Red, and it's fine.
But yeah, you beans have a lovely night. Thank you again for having me.
Thank you for joining.
Have a good night, Seda, or whatever you're gonna do now.
Alright. Let's go and wrap up this recording finally. You know, only a couple of hours of just chatting on top of the end of the Zerg campaign. Gab, would you mind doing the outro for me, please?
Give me a moment, let me pull it up. Okay, I'm ready.
Go ahead and start.
Thank you everybody today for joining us for StarCraft II. Check out the website, cgfgaming.com. There's links for Discord, Telegram, Mastodon, Blue Sky, Patreon, and more there on the website as well as down in the description below through the link tree. Thank you to Sim's Patreons, tippers, and subscribers. Your support is what keeps this channel alive and going. He cannot do this without your guys' help and your support, so thank you. Consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/cgfgaming. It is one of the best ways to support the channel, though you can also do so by sharing the stream around, as well as coming by, hanging out, picking up packs of cards and stream loots, using the Humble Bundle partner link, or subscribing to us over on YouTube, as well as picking up some merch over at cgfgaming.store. Thank you so much for joining us, and we bid you all the most fondest adieu.
Thank you, everyone.